samrajya shokham trinavad vihayo sandharayam chivaraschinnavesham ninindya vedam pashuhatanam cha dayamayam tang pranatasmi buddham. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. One who renounced the happiness of a kingdom and left it as it were a blade of grass. He who wore the ragged garb of renunciation. He who denied the authority of the Vedas and denounced animal sacrifice. That compassionate Buddha I salute again and again. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So today our topic is Buddha, Bhagavan Buddha. Buddha's advent in the history actually has created a spiritual culture in the whole world. And Buddha still is ruling the world with his love and compassion. Buddha came into the history, into the physical appearance in a time, very critical time of India, when India was going through, the spiritual country was going through slaughtering of the animals, sacrifices everywhere in the name of spiritualizing the life. The sacrifice became at random, and also people become too much logician, talking only intellectually, not solving the mystery of the life and the problems of life. And he had to face these two challenges. And he was actually a great personality, as has been mentioned by Swami Vivekananda. He was the Washington of what he said. Vivekananda said that he lived in that consciousness and he actually revolutionized the thought process of that time. That's why it is called, Buddha is called a rebellion child of Hinduism. Because Hinduism, when it went to that period of decadence, when spirituality is forgotten and spirituality is taken to be intellectualism, and also spirituality is taken to be some rituals, and that rituals has no meaningless ritual, the purpose of life being forgotten, then Buddha came and he gave this different idea about life. His life, as you know, all of us know, that he was born in the 6th century BC and in the foothill of the Himalayas, and he was raised in an environment not to see any suffering or the real aspect of life, because at his prediction was that he will be a great king or he will be a great renouncer. So as a result, his father wanted to protect his child from this being a monk. So he wanted to keep him in that environment, and he has no idea about life. That life has suffering, life has disease, life has old age, death haunts everyone. These changes of life is happening every moment, and there should be some means to get out of this suffering that he was not knowing about. So when he first came to know that this life means something else, not the way we camouflage sometimes. We cover our life, the source of life, with some beautiful flower and to fragrant flower and spray some perfume to appear to be very beautiful. But in realistic life, there is a great crisis to understand that we will all have to face this disease, this suffering, this old age, this death. So he actually saw that these four sins. One, he saw that there is a diseased person, an old person, and man died, and also he saw a mendicant or a wandering monk, carefree life. And that carefree life inspired him to find the solution out of this suffering. So he tried to understand that there is the cause, there is suffering. First of all, this is out of the four principles, fundamental principle is that accepting that there is suffering. First of all, we cannot ignore it. However, it is apparently non-existing at a particular moment of time. But everyone hits this point when to face this and puts a question, why me? Why this? Why it is happening? So when he had this, he tried to find the cause of this suffering, and also he tried to find the means of complete deliverance from that suffering. And for solving this question, he went to different people, with different scholars, and went to many tapassis. They call people are performing austerities, great austerities, and questioned, but could not find any satisfactory response. So came back. He tried to find out his own resources, what he can do. So what he did, he renounced the apparent thing, and it is a zeal, it is an inspiration to find the solution. What is the solution of these terrible problems of life which everyone faces? And actually everyone faces but don't want to solve the problem, but go back into the cycle of birth and death again, and then again suffering, again pain, again. Buddhism is sometimes it is called pessimism, because it's too much pessimistic. All dukkha, 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 sarvang dukkham. Birth is dukkha, growth is dukkha. Really, it does not appear like that to us. We now think, being adult, we think the children are very happy children. But go to the mindset of the children. The birth, they're dependent and they cry and weep. And then when they grow, they are always at the mercy of someone. They're suffering and dependence. And you'll have to pray to mommy and mommy will give something. If not, then you'll have to cry more. So always a bondage. But we don't look at that. As we grow, we go to school, oh my God, it's school examination, these teachers and these elders and parents, so many situations. If we analyze the life, then we find that there is a serious problem here. And this problem is to be overcome and a solution is to be found. But we see the situations where we don't see at all. For us, it is okay. It's going on. But Buddha was not satisfied with this superficial okay. He wanted to find actually what can be done. And with the iron will, the mind which is free from all distracting thoughts, he endeavored to unravel through continuous meditation. That meditation, the mystery of the world's miseries. Where is the misery? Why we are miserable? Why I am here? Why I am born? Why I am getting involved into this suffering? Why shall we suffer? Life is for joy, if it is so. That's why nirvana, the freedom or getting free from this bondage, was is called. So this mystery, he wanted to find out the solution of it, and and ultimately he was crowned with success in attaining what is called nirvana or the freedom. And the message what he gave, he was, when experience came, and that point he was so exceedingly happy and he was full of joy. He wanted to convey that message to the world. And he lived quite a long time. 35 years of his life he spent in exploring the truth. And the rest of the 45 years of his life, he spread this message of this redemption and freedom from all miseries, how it can be reached. So he lived quite a long time, 90 years. But all this life story was to help people redeem, get out of the sufferings of life. So it is what we can think about that the teachings, and what teachings he gave for this oral teaching and recorded later by his intimate disciples. And the three baskets they called Tripitakas, and they are the three. One, he established a monastic tradition, and he thought that intense detachment from this life can solve the problem. We will go to that point, how we are getting attached into the life and how we are suffering. The cause of suffering is our attachment, and he put this idea that detachment is the freedom. And this monastic organization, when it is started, he made some rules for them, that is the Vinaya Pitaka, and the conduct of the organization, Sangha, spiritual organization, monastic organization. And then he gave some sermons through talks and dialogues, and that was called as Sutta Pitham. And exposition of the philosophical teachings and its explanations of these suttas, they are Abhi Dhamma Pitakam. They are very early Buddhist philosophy that is in given there. So these three Tripitakas is the foundation of this entire Buddhistic philosophy. And later on, of course, the followers, they divided into two divisions. One is the Theravada and Mahayana. Theravada, they are called Hinayana. They are not Hina, but they are, why Hina? That is the language of the Mahayana people. They think they are Hina because they don't go through the life of Buddha. They are only talking about the philosophy. The personality is ignored. That's why it flourished. It flourished in the southern part of India, and its stronghold was in Ceylon, Burma, and Assam. And Pali was the common language. It claims to be more orthodox and faithful to the teachings of Buddha. And Mahayana split, they flourished in the north, that is in the Tibet, China, Japan. And their language were sophisticated Sanskrit. And many translated into Tibetan language, of course, afterwards in Chinese language. Enormous books have come out in Buddhism because of that. Now, this, whatever may be this idea, two ideas, one is the personality centering around Buddha's life and teachings, emphasizing on those aspects. Another is aspect of the philosophical aspect. But Buddha himself disliked mere metaphysical discussion, which has very little practical utility. His anti-speculative attitude, he didn't like it. That means this type of understanding, there is soul, there is not soul, there is life, continues, suffering. But rather he focused on hit to the direct problem that life has the suffering, and we have to solve this mystery. And the question, useless, he thought, that it is unprofitable also, that putting that question like that, is the world eternal? or non-eternal? These are philosophical questions. Is it finite or is it infinite? Is the soul same as the body or different? These are all, logicians talk about this in different philosophies. These are discussed, but Buddha find no interest in it. That's why he didn't accept Vedas as authority there. It is like he went directly to solve the problem that these questions may be valid. When you have relaxing time, you can sit and talk. But major problem is to be solved. What is happening now? You are in danger. How to get out of the danger? How you can be established in that freedom? Why we shall suffer anymore? And how this suffering can be got out of it? That's why he paid attention to the cessation of the suffering. That is the point. Cessation of suffering is very important, and there is suffering though, but cessation of suffering is important. And also important, is it attainable here in this life? How? By perfect control, a constant contemplation on the truth. So this is his emphasis turned to the practicality of life. Buddha's life is not inactivity. They are most active. It does not mean that extinction of existence. Buddha didn't say that. It is not shunya as we describe, because there is a beautiful statement of Buddha himself. And where he says that Buddha said that there is an unborn, an unoriginated, an unmade, an uncomposed. Were there not, O mendicants, there would be no escape from the world of born, the originated, the made, and the compounded. So what he said is a mystified statement, and we make philosophies out of that. Ramakrishna also said, why Buddha will be a nihilist or non-believer? He could not express what he experienced. So that is true for all spiritually realized people, souls. They talk about this point, that there is the truth, but it cannot be expressed in the world. So Swami Vivekananda was a great lover of Buddha. He expressed his ideas. He said Buddha was a great Vedantist, and Shankara is often called a hidden Buddhist. Buddha made the analysis, but Shankara made the synthesis out of it. Buddha never bowed down to anything, neither Veda, nor caste, nor priest, nor custom. He fearlessly reasoned so far as reason could take him. Such a fearless search for truth and such love for every living being in the world has never seen such person. So Swami Vivekananda saw Buddha in this perspective, that is his fearless search for the truth and his love for not only human but for all creature. And he said, continued, Buddha was the Washington of religious world. He conquered a throne only to give it to the world, as Washington did to the American people. He sought nothing for himself. This is a beautiful way Swami Vivekananda has presented. To have that freedom, and that freedom is available for everyone who lives in this world. Only we have to seek for that. And Swami Vivekananda also said, Buddhism is one of our sect. He became disgusted at the eternal metaphysical discussions of his days and the cumbrous rituals, and more especially with the caste system. He was also against tremendous priestcraft. And that was his mission. that he didn't speak about that, but about the philosophies, but he tried to solve the mystery of life. So mostly that what is the Buddha's contribution? Buddha gave this, that first noble truths, 4 noble truths. We all know that. But when you talk about Buddha, what else we can say? So it is 4. What are the 4 noble truths? First point is that there is existence of suffering and sorrows. The life has suffering again and again to be born, both through old age, disease and death, because of the karma theory, and the bondage of karma, and enduring all this suffering again and again. So this is the fundamental point, that there is suffering. How much we turn our face, this suffering is accepted in everyone's life. Look at any state of our personality, not only human, in any animal, any existence in the world goes through these changes. And then naturally there comes the question, why there is suffering? What is the cause of suffering? Why we should suffer? Vedanta, of course, has a very clear expression, but we are not mixing Vedanta today. But we are thinking what Buddha said. Because there is a cause of suffering, because cause is, they call infinite causation in a circle, that is Alata Chakra. It appears, what is the cause becomes the effect becomes the cause. Like that, this circle, there is a circle of the cause why we are here. That is about 12 points are there, causes of suffering. Now, if there is suffering and there is a cause of suffering, then what next? Next question comes, cessation of suffering is possible. Cessation is possible. You can stop the suffering. And then question comes, how can I stop it? There is a way to deal with it. There is a way which leads to cessation of this suffering. So these 4 very principles is the foundation of Buddha's thoughts, 4 noble truths, that there is existence of suffering and sorrow, there is a cause of this suffering, and this cause can be erased, cessation of suffering is possible, and there is a specific methodology which can help us to get out of this for total freedom. So nirvana, the cessation path, the nirvana state is called the cessation of suffering, the way to escape. And the way to how to get out of this is simple, called the Eightfold Path. So teachings of Buddha may be divided into 2 segments. One is philosophical and another is to practical. Philosophical part will be this much, that there is suffering and there is a way of escape. These are philosophical. It is not, we are not in that state now. We are going through the suffering now. But fundamentally, these 2 points are very important, that there is suffering, is a philosophical. I have not ended my life yet. I have seen much suffering, also joy. But the truth, principle-wise, this is a philosophical point. There is suffering, and the 3rd point, there is a cessation of suffering. And this is a theory also. We do not know. Cessation of suffering for us is yet to be achieved. But these are the 2 philosophical ideas. But what are the other thing? That what is to be practically applicable? It is find the cause of suffering. This is very deep analysis into our life and finding its root. And finding the root, the way to get out. People talk big philosophies but don't practice. So here Buddha was very careful about that. So he brought this into practical side of it more. That's why Buddha's path is very practical, it is said. Even now it is so popular. When you go to Vipassana and this and the meditation type, it is a whole, America is for meditation. That is, Buddhism has made it so popular. That means how to analyze, how to see what's the mind, this, that is creating this tremendous impact. But it is not final freedom. So to have the final freedom, it should be more intense, as Buddha did. Analyzed, and till the solution, he got it. That's why he took that resolution, that ihasane shishyatu me shariram. He took that strong resolution to solve the mystery, that I shall not get up from the seat of my meditation. Under the bo tree, when he sat, that tak asti mangsam pralayancha jatu, even if my flesh and skin and bone be separated, pralayancha jatu, aprappa bodhim, unless I realize that bodhi, the state of freedom, awakening, I am not going to leave this seat. So he had the strong resolution, and it needs strong power, willpower, and will to renounce everything for this truth. That is the point. When Buddhism was followed, it made it, everyone listened to this message and it became a mass religion. And everyone took the path of Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. I will follow the path of Buddha. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. I will follow the path of Sangha or the organization. Become monk. Even now you will find that 4, 5, 6 years children, they are becoming monk. What they understand of monastic life? It has become a tradition. To be monk is a tradition. But monk is not a tradition. It is a question of fiery renunciation. Seeing this suffering of life, it's an intense urge to give up everything for that highest truth and to explore it in depth so that no loophole remains and so that mind does not cling to the temporary thing, rather find the solution to get out of it. So it needs tremendous spiritual insight as also tremendous renunciation. That's why whole India become monastic. You go, even in Kamarpukur, Jairambati, you go, people say there were all Buddhist stupas on which now the Hindus have created. When Buddhism was eradicated, they created the Hindu temples like Shiva temple, Mother temple, many temples have come. So it was, whole India was influenced one time with this. But the major point is that how to be intense in this path unless one follows the very foundational things. That's why a character, Swami Vivekananda said, man of character. What is needed in the world is a few people who have the character in their life. Feeling for others, compassion for others, serving others, and leading a purposeful life. So the 5 precepts, then Buddha suggested that abstain, simple thing, abstain from killing, abstain from stealing. It's a very simple thing. Abstain from adultery, abstain from speaking lie, abstain from addiction to liquor or drinks, which intoxicates the mind. So very basic idea is that to build a character, and with that strong character, the divine will, observing the world, its present situation, to get out of these troubles of suffering and to lead a life of freedom. So, and he emphasized on these different day-to-day rituals to be performed, not to rituals the other way, though Buddhism became full of rituals. If you go to the Tibetan Buddhism and other areas, it is so much complicated thing, but Buddha wanted to simplify, but things turn into more complicated. It happens, history, as time goes on, we forget the principle and we get entangled into the rituals, and its secondary details become the primary thing. So this very simple formula, that not to kill, what a big, not to kill, how you will survive without killing? That is, ahimsa is the best word to say, ahimsa. Himsa is meaning to not to hurt anyone, not to injure anyone. It is not willful. It's a big virtue. That changes the whole character. If one can take this vow, one vow only, that I will not hurt anyone by word, thought and deed, in my action, in my thought and in my act, even in my thought, action, word, thought, the whole world would have changed. And then that will give clarity in the mind to go to analyze that life's problem and to have a final solution of it. So he emphasized this eightfold path, which is talking about right understanding. Try to understand what life is. What are the problems of life? How one problem leads to the other, because of what? Because of our attachment, because of our greed, because of our delusion. How we can get out of it? So have a right understanding. He has given the word right understanding. What is right understanding? Let me think about that, what he said in the infinite cessation in a circle. It is called the 12 points, Bhava Chakra. This life is a chakra. It is happening again and again, the same series of movement in life, and we are going from one experience to the other and coming back again and again, going through the another life cycle. Cycle after life is going on, and the same experiences of pleasure and pain and this terrible dissatisfaction continues. So what it says, he says that why we are in this, what is the problem of our suffering? Suffering, main problem, he says, that we have no clear idea about life. They call it avidya. But we need not have to mix up with Vedanta. Vedantic avidya is that there is a truth, Brahman, and we do not know that. We superimpose something, that is called ignorance. But here ignorance is different. Ignorance that we are ignorant about the truth and fact of life. What is that? That life has suffering, and it is not so much interesting, it is not so much attractive, but I feel it is attractive. I am involved into it. I take it, everything of it is so serious, and it is true and true and true, and I want to hold it. So that is the point. Not knowing anything in life, whatever is happiness today brings suffering tomorrow. And you may say that it is too much pessimistic word, but if we analyze, Buddha analyzed life. You analyze anything in life, you love it. You spend so much of energy, you got it. After receiving that, you will find that you are not satisfied. And then you'll have to search for something. So the main problem is that we are ignorant about the truth, the fact that this life brings misery because of our wrong understanding. If you have the understanding, we are freed. No one can trouble us. And the world will fail to have any impact on us. The first point is that they call avidya, or not having the perfect knowledge about the truth. False idea. And because of the false idea, we get attracted to the things of the world, objects of the world, and we get lost into that, which brings ultimately another phase of suffering, another phase of suffering. We continue like that. Now, if you say so, then where this ignorance came from? Why? Why this ignorance? So, first of all, there is suffering, we are not watchful about it. And it is even what is appearing as good or attractive, it is not that much attractive because it is bringing suffering in future. If it is so, then why it is happening? Because Buddha said, because you have this samskara. Samskara means, you all know samskara is the impression of the past actions. Whatever actions we do, it has this immediate impact. In that moment we find joy or suffering, and afterwards it keeps one layer of what you call impression. It goes to the substratum of our subconscious. So this whole ignorance is coming because we are thinking in our mind that this is so, this is attractive, this is true, this will give me joy, this will make me happy, this will bring peace for me. This is happening because there is this impression which has been gathered, and the tremendous impression, and the impression to be, we don't want to die. That impression such that we want to carry on. Even people at the point of utmost health condition, people want to hold on. No, I want to live more. So this is the samskara, impression. It is continuing, it helps from the experience and impressions of our past lives. So Buddhism, of course, we are studying Buddhism, means Buddhism, like Hinduism, accepts the life, previous life, afterlife, so continuation of life. And now, where from this impression came? Why I feel attracted? Why I feel to be born again? Because it comes from the knowledge. Vijnana. It is Vijnana is the science language they use, but Vijnana means to experience the world. We need one who will experience. And that experience and the experiencer, that is the Vijnana. Vijnana means the Buddhi. So according to Buddha, this visible world has no ultimate entity, has no permanent entity. It is only a chain of our experience. It is called Anubhuti Dhara. I am seeing something, instantly one impression is coming, another moment, another impression, a continuum of impression creates the world view. That is their very gross example they give, that if you rotate a ball of fire tied with a string, it appears to be a circle of fire. The circle of fire appearing as circle of fire, but it is no circle of fire, only ball of fire, and its quick succession movement giving an appearance. So this is the Vijnana, Aham Buddha. I think, I continue, I am here. Don't mix with Vedantic I. That will create confusion. I exist, I will exist. I am here, I am experiencing this, I will continue to do that. That aham dhara, this is the anubhuti, this ego sense is continuing. And I am separate from the world experience, and I want to experience it, so I get attached to it. So why I am getting then in this circle of this I to continue? We get so much blows, so much suffering from this world, knocks and blows, but still we try to continue our existence. Why? This aham dhara, it is called what is called the flow of that ego flow, continuing from childhood to youth to old age till we die, and even at the point of death, I want to continue. Everyone has a desire, no? When we die, I do not know what will happen, but everyone has the wish that at the point of death they think, oh, I didn't do this, I would have been happy to do this. So that desire is being kept. I would have been happy had I done that. That means the desire is continuing, and who is having the desire? That I, aham, the sense of I, aham bodha. That is the chain of experience, anubhuti dhara of aham. Now, my ego is aham here, who is trying to experience, and what are the objects? Nama and rupa. This world is full of name and form. This beauteous universe, whatever we see, our eyes attract, our mind moves in that direction. We feel connected with that. So that why I want to continue? Because I want to think that I am here. I want to experience this. I want to see that. I want to hear. I want to feel. I want to taste. I want to touch. This experience continues in the mind. So it is called the aham nama vijnana, leads us to the attachment to the name and form of the external object. That means this I needs something to experience. And what to experience? Whatever in the world, it is only name and form. To experience the name and experience the form. This is the union. This is like this attachment, this connection, this attraction is continuing. Why it is happening? Because if I want to know, there is called 6 items are helping us to connect with this external name and form. What are that? That means to create this knowledge in me, you have the 5 senses. Shadayatan. Shadayatan means 5 senses. Sense of perception, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, these 5 organs of senses, and connected with its mind. That makes it 6. So the philosophy of this infinite causation circle, 5th point is Shadayatan, meaning to know the objective world, which is name and form, which is so alluring to me. What I have not experienced, I want to experience. And innumerable things come in this world view, and I am doing it because I have Shadayatan. I have 6 instruments. Instruments of the senses, 5 sense organs of perception, and my mind is connected. If the mind is minus that, no perception is possible. Senses may be there, and nama rupa, the sense object may be there, my eyes may be there, and object you may be here sitting, but if mind is disconnected, if I think of something else, I don't see you. I am talking, the object is here, you are listening, your ear is alert, but if your mind is gone to somewhere, you don't listen these words. That's why it's Shadayatan, 6 organs or 6 instrumentality to experience that I enjoy the object of the world or the name and form. This connection comes because of these 6 items. It is called the Shadayatan. And now, when the experience becomes complete, it is called sparso. It touches. Eyes may be here, object may be there. My experience will not be completed. I should touch the object. That's why it is called sparso. Now, the touch. The 6 sense organs have to touch the corresponding objects of name and form, what we are attracted towards. So, the eye should have an object, but that will not do. It should have to touch that. It is called sparso. Because of this sparso, or this touch of the sense objects and the mind together functioning in me, and touching the objects of the universe, gives us one knowledge. And why we are doing this? Because we have infinite desire inside. Then comes so sparso is necessary, touch is necessary with the 6 organs and name and form. That is the contact will happen, the objective universe and my mind and senses. There are two different things, but they must have to touch each other. And as they touch, what happens? Seventh point comes, which is called Vedana. Vedana means experience of the sense experience. Sense experience is possible. Now, how they have analyzed, actually it is happening in split second for all of us. We never think that it is so important. But Buddha's analysis is here. See how you are thinking some wrong thing as true. There is some object, and there is your mind, there is your senses. If you don't connect, if someone passes by and you don't look at that, you don't know about his presence. But whenever your eye falls and gets connected with it, and you have an experience, anubhuti experience, not the final experience of Brahman, but it is the experience of the objective universe, then you get the Vedana or touch, and it generates some sensation, happiness, pleasure, pain. You eat something, put in your tongue touches the sense object. Suppose you are passing by, there is beautiful cake or ice cream to be sold, and you are passing by and you see that. It does not give you this sparsa, touch. You have to purchase it. And purchase will not do. You have to put it in your tongue. So the tongue and the object should have contact, and that because of the contact you will have the experience. So it is happening every moment, but it is the analysis. In this way, as a result of the contact with the knower who is inside, here knower is not Brahman, mind it. Who is the knower? Your mind, your ego sense. That is understanding. That knower and the known, the object, what you know, is the experience of the flow of creation. And that is called the Vishwa Pravaha. The whole world is rotating in this cycle because of this. Then why I am getting attached to the object of the senses? What is the reason? Because we are thirsty. As our tongue becomes thirsty for drinking water in hot summer, so our eyes are thirsty to see the object. It is called the Trishna. Trishna means hankering. Trishna means the inner urge. I cannot stay without that. See, our eyes cannot stop. If something goes, our eyes will look like that. Even you don't want, you are focused in something, and if someone passes by, you look at and who is going on. So it has become a spontaneous action as if connectedness with the object. So this is Trishna, means the thirst in the heart. So thirst for life, thirst for its enjoyments, attraction for experiencing infinite number of names and forms in the universe. How many things we have seen. If our eyes could give had an album, all the pictures the eyes took from our childhood till today, probably this entire temple will be cannot accommodate that many pictures. But still we are thinking, I'll have to see that. I'll have to go there. Whenever you read some travel magazine or something, what mind tells, it is good. If I can see that, I can go there. So this thirst is propelling force from within. And then that's why it is to hold the body and not to die, and don't want to die. We want to experience more the connection with the sense objects, and with the eyes, with my thirst that is leading me towards that ongoing process of birth and death. Why it is happening? This thirst, because this thirst, whatever I am carrying, it is continuing in future life, because this thirst of this life is not ending here. It is giving a momentum for the next life. That's why it is said in Hinduism also, in the Gita it is said, at the point of death, what is your last thought? Then you be born in future life according to your thought. Because the thought, why thought comes still? Because I am not satisfied. I want to see more. That sanskaras are there, that impetus is there, that mind is functioning, the sense objects have seen enough, and this contact, anubhuti, experience. And life is nothing but the series of experience. That is our life. And that is continuing. And then this ingredient of the next birth comes over there. And then why we are born? We are born because this tremendous desire to experience the unexperienced. And that leads us, pushes us to the future birth. Born, we want to be born. That tremendous desire comes. And what way we will born, it depends on our sanskaras, all our experiences, and all the different angles in which we move our life for experiencing. We want to experience, we want to be happy, we want to be in peace, but in the long run, it turns into all suffering only, because this process is like this. It one leads to the other, leads to the other, which appears to be a continuum of life, but it is only segmental, and it cannot give us satisfaction. That's why 10th point comes, it is the will or tremendous desire to be born that arises in our mind, and this prepares one for future birth. And as a result, we are jati. We are born in this world. And as we are born, as a result, the resultant effect of birth, what will happen? Suffering and misery and pleasure and pain, and sometimes little joy, or followed by so much of anxieties, worries, this, that, of losing thing. What will happen if I lose it? That's why Buddha taught that path, that these, if you analyze, that these are the 12 causes of your continuum of life, then you can separate it out, and you can think that you need not be involved into it. It's a process going on. If you can get out of this involvement, then the suffering and the so-called joy which we get, you can be free from that, and you can retain your own freedom. And that is the state of nirvana, or being awakened. Buddha, that's why it is said, Buddha is not a man. Buddha is a state. Buddha is a state of awakening, awakened state. Awaken means awaken into this consciousness. This is the thing going on in life, and get out of it. And life will be freedom, life of freedom, as soon as we can get this understanding that this circle, we are born because of our tremendous desire to be born, and desire is coming from the past actions. Why it is? Because my senses experience some joy or some experience when the mind connected with it, and we have experienced it again and again and again, and it has created some tremendous impact in our consciousness of the mind, and mind moves us, pushes us that direction, and we have never analyzed this. It is only a segmental experience of the mind. So long the mind is there, you are having this, and your senses are there, you are searching for this, but you should not get attached to it. So that is the overall idea, that everyday existence, we are getting the gyata and gyo, the object and the subject, this connection and this contact of the knower, I, and the knowable sense objects. This is called the circle of life, infinite causation of a circle, and that is creating all trouble. So if we can analyze like Buddha, and then Buddha will say that you will attain to your own freedom, your own kingdom, and that he himself have experienced, and that is given to us. So the point is that whatever he says, main thing, we want to go beyond all suffering. You say in Vedantic language, it is Ananda, and you don't say Ananda, but you analyze this way. That is a connection of your mind and your attraction, your attachment, and this and that. Don't talk about God. Here we don't talk about God. God is not necessary here. It is just analysis. And if we analyze this way, then we can free ourselves. Okay? Thank you. So, we can end here today. Main thing is that Buddha's call is for awakening, and that awakening is to analyze life and find the truth and find the solution of it. That solution is from within. That we are here because of our wish. We are in the suffering because I wish to be here. I can get out of it. And Buddha is the brightest example, and thousands of monks and devotees following this path have been freed from all bondage. So this is a genuine path. One can take this path of analysis and not to run away from life, but be in the life, but at the same time see this in this perspective. So I crave the blessings of Buddha today. Okay, now I end with a prayer. Om Namo Namo Buddha Divakaraya Namo Namo Gautama Chandrikaya Om Namo Namo Ananta Gunadharaya Om Namo Namo Shakka Nandanandanaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Our salutations to Buddha, the sun of knowledge. Our salutations to Gautama, who sheds the moonlight of compassion. Salutations to the holder of endless noble qualities. Salutations to the blessed son of the Shakya clan. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Of course, I have not.